Hi, everyone, and welcome to Stitch by Stitch podcast. My name is Brenda, and this is my very first episode. So, welcome. I am so glad to have you here today, and I am just beyond excited to do this podcast. I live in Southeast Texas with my husband. We have 2 daughters and several puppies. So, I am a retired school teacher. And when I retired from teaching, I decided to homeschool my 2 daughters. So they are both growing, don't need me to homeschool anymore. So I craft and I love it. My crafting journey began when I was 5 years old. My grandmother taught me how to embroider, and that was the tradition in our family, was grandma taught each granddaughter how to embroider. From there, I went into crochet. My mom taught me how to crochet. And then I started knitting 21 years ago, right after my father passed away. And that brought me so much healing during a very difficult time. And I'm so happy to carry on with knitting and crocheting and embroidery. Then I started to spin. I started on a drop spindle, which I absolutely loved, but the process is really slow. So I got a spinning wheel, and that I love too, but I just don't have enough time to sit down and use my spinning wheel. So this year I got an e-spinner, and I've been playing around with that a little bit. So mainly what this podcast will be about is all my crafty journeys: crochet, knitting, embroidery, and sometimes spinning. So if those are things that you think you will enjoy, please join. Hit the subscribe, the like button, share with your friends. I would be happy to have this community grow and be a part of your life. The first thing I'm going to start with is stitch by stitch, or all stitched together, I should say, all stitched together, my finished objects. And I have 4 of them. I'm going to start with the first one. It is a pair of shorty socks. Aren't these beautiful? Oh, I just love this gray with the bright pops of color. This is leftover yarn from Yarnberry, and it's the Don't Bother Me, I'm Reading colorway. And I used an opal solid in a bright teal for the cuff, heels, and toe. I like to use a US 1 2.25 millimeter for my socks. For my husband, I use a 2.5, and I'm usually a magic loop knitter. So I think this one I did 10 rounds of ribbing 2x2 for the cuff, 10 rounds for the leg, because I wanted to make sure I was going to have enough fabric for both socks. I popped in a regular slip stitch heel flap, heel turn, and continued down the gusset and the foot. And I finished off with an umbrella toe, which is usually the toe that I like to do. And this is normally how I like to knit my socks. So, pair number 1, first finished object. The second finished object I have for you is also another pair of socks, because I love to knit socks. They're portable, they are so cozy, and I will wear my socks in the middle of summer in Texas. I don't care. If the house is cold, my feet are cold, I'm cold. Socks are wonderful. So this is a Regia, and I popped in an opal olive green toe. And this is the Lofton colorway 03882. And again, I used a US 1 2.25. I think I did 10 rounds of 2x2 ribbing and 15 rounds for the leg on this one. A slip stitch heel turn, or heel flap, heel turn, gusset. And I used the same yarn all the way down to the bottom, and I almost got them perfectly matching. I was off just a hair, and I think my tension might have just changed a little bit as I knit the second sock. So these are my 2 pairs of socks that I have finished. And I should say that with the very tiny last bit of leftovers I had from the Yarnberry yarn, I decided to make a little mug rug. And this is just a crocheted granny square, and I didn't think this color was big enough for a mug, so I added a dark gray opal around the outside, and I love it. It's perfect for my teacup. Who doesn't love a nice cup of tea? I'm not a coffee drinker, so now I'm ready to stick this on my nightstand and keep my nightstand safe from condensation. So I used up every last scrap of this yarn. I just could not bear to leave any of it unused. And that's a perfect way to use up little tiny scraps. The last thing that I have as a finished object is the top that I'm wearing. This is the Tolsta tee, and I made the DK version. This is out of Kelborn Woolen Scout in the, let's see, which colorway is it? Juniper Heather. And I used 2.5 skeins, which is a great value because this was only $18 a skein at my local yarn store, the Modern Skein, over in Conroe, Texas. And I have one full skein left over because I wasn't sure. I wanted to add a little length to this sweater, and I wasn't sure if I was going to have enough with 3 skeins, so I have an extra skein. But that's okay because I can add it to another color like a light gray or a beige and make a striped Tolsta. So that'll be perfect. I used US 7 and US 6 needles, and I did the size 4 for 43.5 bust. I usually have a 44-inch bust, and I don't like a lot of positive ease. The other modification I did is I added 2 extra stitches under each arm before separating for sleeves so that I would have enough underneath the arm. And so then when I went to pick up stitches, I picked up a total of 8 stitches underneath each arm, if that makes sense. I will try to stand up if I can and show you what it looks like on. It hits right, see my belly button's right there. So yeah, I did add a little bit of length, and I love the arms on it. Yeah, I love everything about this sweater. I can't wait to pair it with some slacks or jeans and wear it to church, wear it out. And yeah, I've been saving it for quite a while. I started it in February, and I believe that I finished it in April. Yes, in April. So this one's been sitting back for a while, waiting for its debut. And I did pop in a picture of me on Instagram as my biopic of me wearing it. So that gives you a better idea. If you follow me on Instagram or have an Instagram, you can see what it looks like with jeans. Okay, I feel like I'm going really fast and talking really fast, so I will try to slow down. I have 4 works in progress. The first one is these little hexagons that I'm crocheting, and I have this one. This one is really pretty. And I'm bordering them with I'm holding the yarn double. So I'm using a fingering weight yarn that I'm holding double, and I am using let's see, what size hook am I using? I think a 3.25, and I'm using a sport weight yarn, plain yarn, to go around the outsides. So that one, and this one's not my favorite, but in the scheme of things, it's going to look great. And here's the one I'm working on right now. So yeah, these take a little bit of time. I have it in this beautiful, beautiful bag. I love the patchwork bag, and I don't remember who made it. I am so sorry. But yeah, I just carry this around from room to room, and I do about 10 hexagons at a time. And then I block them on a blocking board with metal pegs that I have sitting on another yarn cubby storage thing. And I have, let's see, 10, 20, I think I have 40 done. When I get done with this bag of 10, I will have 50 done. So in the next podcast, I may show you some of those. I don't want to bore you with 40 hexagons, but this is a slow project that I just love to do. It's a different action than knitting, and it's going to make a beautiful, beautiful afghan when I get to that point. So this bag is new to me. This is from Delightful Works. This is a treat for the fall. And I love that little squirrel on there, the little acorns, hedgehog. It's so beautiful. I love Susan's work. This is a pair of socks that I'm working on out of an opal skein. And I do have the tag in the bag. This is mixed tape. And it is colorway 11495. Now this sock I began a long, long time ago. It was yarn that my daughter gave me for my birthday. And life got busy and the summer hit and I just didn't feel like crafting at all. I lost all ability to do any type of craft whatsoever. So I was right here when I picked it up a couple days ago. And this is one of my favorite charms. It says a cup of tea solves everything. Now this sock, I decided to pop in, Earth Tone Girls, Denise, she does the, I know you're all screaming it at me. Give me a minute. It'll come to me. It's not the Afterthought. Shadow Wrap. It's the Shadow Wrap heel. I decided that I did not want to mess with an alternating color. I just wanted to try something new. I thought maybe that would get my knitting mojo back. And I have done 10 more rows, actually 20 rows, 10 rows for the leg, and then 10 rows past the Shadow Wrap heel. So this one is getting love slowly, and I'm hoping that it'll be my car knitting for on the way to church tomorrow. So I hope I get a lot more done on it tomorrow. The next thing that I am working on is in a bag. I love this bag. This was a Christmas gift a couple years ago from my daughter. And this is in the Saltwater Taffy colorway by Night Owl Fibers. And I popped in a white Afterthought heel for this. I had knit a pair of these socks for my sister last July, and I sent them to her in South Dakota, which is where I'm originally from. And I am marking on the back my counting by tens so that when I get to 72, I know that that's when I need to start my toe. And I think I will probably use I think I should have enough of the off-white to do toes, heels and toes. If not, it's just a plain neutral white and I can grab another one of those. But this is what I have left in the cake. And I thought it would be kind of neat that my sister and I would have matching socks or out of the same yarn. So that is another project that I have not touched in a very long time. But I'll get back to it. It's on my needles, so I'll put it in rotation. The final thing that I have for you, and I don't believe I have any notes on this at all in my yarn journal because I have not been keeping up with my yarn journal. Like I said, all mojo for knitting was just absolutely gone. So I'm going to refer to the pattern and the skein that I have. So this is it's a Skyline Tee by Tori Yu, and I am knitting the 4th size. Yes, I am knitting the 4th size, and I am using Cowborn Woolens Camper in this really beautiful Sky Heather colorway. Isn't that gorgeous? The depth to this yarn is just so beautiful, and it is absolutely delightful to work with. So here is my sweater. I did the shoulder panels and blocked them, and I used that as my swatch. So here I am. I have joined in the round. This is where I marked for measuring the underarm. I like to measure from the center of the sweater and from the actual underarm. So yeah, I'm slowly making progress on this. I think I get about 1 row a day done. So it's going to take me a really long time to finish this. Uh, but I absolutely love it. And I think that I'm going to be very, very pleased with this sweater once I get it done. And I'll probably make it the same length as the Tulsa tee. It's a length that really fits and I really like. What I really love about this yarn is I can spit splice and I don't have as many ends to weave in. So that's just perfect. And like I said, the yarn is absolutely delightful to work with. I believe I am using, let me check the pattern because I'm using the needles that are recommended. And it's hard to read that small print on there. Okay. I am using US 3s, which are a 3.25 millimeter. And I'm doing the 46-inch bust because like I said, I don't like 4 to 6 inches of positive ease. To me, that just, when you have a large bust, to me, it makes you just look really boxy. And I don't care for that on my body. So that is what I am knitting on right now. And it is being housed in this really big, ginormous bag that I absolutely love. Next episode, I want to talk about blankets and show you blankets that I've made in the past, blankets that I'm working on currently. So look for that coming up, and hopefully I will be back in 2 weeks. If you would like and subscribe, that would mean the world to me. Share with your friends. This is a new adventure and a new journey for me, and I'm just so excited to be here. So thank you for joining me today, and I hope that you get to spend time doing what you love. Bye.